All right, all right. Quiet down, everyone. Quiet down. Hey, you. Ale goes on the table, not your feet. Welcome. Oi! Put down the barkeep. Put down the barkeep. He has an axe and he will use it. Welcome, everyone, to the first race of the Lali-Ho League, our spring tournament here for Free Enterprise. I am happy to be on comms, and I'm joined by the wonderful Oscar424 in the booth. How are you doing tonight, Oscar?
I'm waiting for my mead. I was promised mead.
It'll be coming. As soon as we handle everything and the barkeep gets put down, you'll get your mead.
Sweet.
Behind the scenes, we have Gambit on tracking and Scala Kitty, always a wonderful Scala Kitty, doing our restreaming tonight. But yeah, it's finally here. Lali-Ho League starting up. We have a total of 53 races in this week one Swiss round, and no better place to start than here with Couch 23 and Dr. Cossack. And some pretty interesting objectives. We just heard the Dancing Calbrena, and now our racers are going to have to potentially defeat Calbrena. What are you thinking about these objectives, Oscar?
I'm immediately thinking of the worst, aka most fun places you could find, particularly that evil wall. I'm always enjoying seeing that, but yeah, it's interesting that for those that don't know, there are 5 objectives, and yeah, you just need the 4. So yeah, you gotta hope for the good ones, but for all we know, our 2 runners can take 2 completely different paths and each find their way to Z. And what's actually interesting about Z and potential music out there with the K Magnus check is with 4.2.0, we've got even more harp songs and even more Z sprites of awesomeness added to the pool. So that'd be actually pretty cool if we got something new on this first match. I think that'd be sweet.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If we could get one of the new harp songs and potentially one of the new Zerum sprites, that would be a great way to kick off the tournament. I know I'm excited to run across them during my practice seeds, of which I will hopefully be running many throughout the course of this tournament. If you have not yet tuned in for any races that use the Lali-Ho flags, we had them as a community race, I believe, last week. And there's been pickup races all throughout the setup time. We will go over what to expect as we go through. But like Oscar said, 4 of the 5 objectives, which is up from 3 of 4 if you watched Highway to the 3 Miss Zone. Notably, that complete Cave Magnus means that we're more likely to see music in any given race. And looks like we are off. Let's see what we've got.
So yeah, we had the Rydia start. We have one of my favorite melees and a very potentially cheeky blue robe to start off, giving a large, long sword for that edge that is currently not in the seed. So no progress, but that blue robe could be very interesting. It's going to be either a very quick and simple water hag, or it's going to be a long, boring, and annoying alt gauntlet for our runners. So I'm curious to see who that blue robe is.
Yeah, the blue robe could be very, very interesting, especially if we need to do an early Baron dive. It is that alt gauntlet, and we haven't picked up anyone that has any good AoE damage. But Kane, a great starting character in this flag set. With the introduction of 4.2, we have a wide variety of starter kits available, more so than the ones that were previous. And we do, for the Swiss round, have the dwarf kit enabled, which comes with a dwarf axe. So you can automatically get that Kane back road. It is not a terrible weapon as far as stats go if you really just can't find anything better for him. And we can go there.
Or you can find a cursed ring right away.
Yeah, cursed ring in the Baron Inn. Both our runners find that right away. They are going to be set as far as their agility goes. We had a Vanilla Yang sitting there having some coffee with either a Rubicant or the Elements. Sure, we'll figure that out at some point, unless our runners just happen upon a rabbit hole that allows them to completely fade the Baron Inn. Stranger things have happened in Free Enterprise.
Would that be just Ruby, just on account of there was only the Ruby sprite, or would the...
Good call. Very good call.
Is it essentially the gun show versus the lake show?
Yeah, basically. Also kind of interesting is Rose's mom was just ready for these 2 adventurers, had a Gungnir spear in the bookshelf and an Odin orb in the pot.
Sure, and oh geez, I wish I had this kind of luck with my seeds. That is a self-summon for Rydia, and I believe the Silk Glitch is on. Yeah, it is. So I mean, we've technically got a healer.
Yeah, that's a great start. A second cursed ring in Baron, found in the grass. There was a Murasame found in the like watery area. If we do come across an edge, finding here, okay, we're gonna figure out who that white robe is in Baron up here with a Tella on Mount Hobbs.
Well,
there's our gauntlet.
So we know in Baron that is just a water hag chilling out in the usurped castle, but this is going to be both a kind of long fight for our runners if they go to Mount Hobbs, but it's a nice little quick cheeky influx of XP. And what is this?
So we've had a vanilla Yang so far and a vanilla D-Mist. I promise I didn't roll the seed. This is courtesy of Scala, but if you pay attention to before the race, Scala has been pandering to me all evening with like the music choice, so I'm not surprised she rolled a bit of vanilla.
I'm just okay.
Sneaking in, grabbing a power staff from that one chest. The Mist Cave items are weighted pretty highly because it is an out of the way location, and we are on T Wildish for the Swiss rounds. But yeah, right away, let's see what we got. If this is a Magna Key, this is going to be interesting. Oh, an apple a day will maybe keep Luge away.
She's still in her Kidia form, so I mean that apple's definitely gonna help. That Thunderclaw is a really nice find.
Ooh, Thunderclaw and a black belt.
Let's see what's in the little back chest here. I mean, not everything's perfect. The seed has already been very kind and generous, so we're fine with that 80 GP.
Yep. Especially because we do have SL Quarteron, so our runners, even though they're going to have more access to more loot than they did in 3 Zone, because there is no sparse flag on, everything's going to sell for half of what you would expect it to, and that can be a bit dicey.
And plus, with a new flag that was added to the free enterprise randomizer is the Sea Neki. Characters start off with no armor whatsoever and I don't know what tier weapon they would fall under, but just not your usual standard starter kit on those characters, which is terrible for characters like Edge, who is pretty beefy in the beginning, but our runners need to find gear. Now, there is some starter gear, particularly your wizard starter pack in the dwarf.
Yep, the dwarf kit, yep.
But it does potentially leave some potential issues with our runners and giving them some defense.
Yeah, Sea Neki, I believe it's a random tier 1 to tier 3 weapon that character can equip. That has some great, it kind of buffs some of your weaker characters, because you can get like Rydia, Edward, characters like that just starting with the Dancing Dagger, which can be a huge boon in the early game. Or like Cecil, commonly, because Dark Knight Cecil only has 3 swords available, you'll get a black sword pretty regularly, which can be useful if you want to use that swoon proc it's got. Couch sees it's the alt gauntlet, resets out, does not check the front side of Hobbs, I don't think, unless I missed it.
I didn't check that too. He is making a cheeky waterfall check, and today the pool party is Baigen. I mean, yeah, you know, snakes sometimes need some help shedding their scales, so they'll take a bath. Makes sense.
And Couch, realizing that he does not want to interrupt Baigen and his snake's bath time, resets out promptly. And is going to dive down to Antlion. Dr. Cossack, I believe this is the last fight. We'll be through this shortly. Chat saying that he burned his elixir. The dwarf kit does come with 1 elixir, and you know it's a thing of if you don't use it, you lose it. That was a Zeus gauntlet.
That Kane is very happy right now.
Yeah. So Dr. Cossack has that Tella's going to have access to the exit spell very early, which will allow him to get out of Antline a bit faster. A 3rd cursed ring. I mean, at this point, you can just have a whole hand of cursed rings. That's minus 75 agility.
It's the cursed Finity gauntlet that we're building.
Yeah, having access to the exit spell can be pretty useful depending on what you want to loot. You could go further into Watery Pass, for example, and exit out rather than having to walk back out. Looks like that's what Cossack's going to do. Exiting out of Antline Cave is a bit of a time save. Just very slow.
Crystal ring.
Ooh,
Yeah, Dr. Cossack just found both a crystal ring and then I totally blacked out on what it was because I saw a crystal ring. So that's going to be a nice agility and an Assura because, okay, sure, why not? Watery Path I've noticed has, especially on the T Wildish, it's pretty impressive. He's pretty impressive for loot, but so is Antlion.
There's our dolls, and we have a big bomb. So goodbye dolls, and that is going to be objective number 5 lit up for Couch 23. 25% of the way there.
For those that follow one of the PK specials would be sorely disappointed if they faded Antlion this time around.
Yeah, had that been the pink tail, it would have been even better because that would have mean that the Antlion was a hard require. Now, that rat tail still could lead to one of our other required key items, but still could be hard required.
Yeah, I think in Cossack's looting, I think I found a second crystal ring, maybe something of crystally value as well. So this is a very interesting seed so far.
Yeah, another Gungnir spear here. Both our runners doing a fair amount of looting, but in completely different locations, getting completely different toolkits, but both pretty well stacked thus far. Couch gonna head over to defend Fabul, with these seeds tending to favor being a bit longer, fading Fabul early. We may see it develop into the meta, but I personally haven't found the appeal to it. Holding out to maybe get the pan and get the triple off of Fabul is nice, but so is getting that early magma key that can be there.
And Cossack even showing more value there. We've seen a ninja hat. He just picked up a strength ring, wind spear. So I mean, that Watery Pass had some good stuff today.
Yeah. Hasn't picked up any shields yet, though. I've noticed, at least when I've been running these seeds, that...
A crystal shield.
A crystal shield. A crystal shield. Excuse me, yes, the crystal shield. I've noticed in these seeds that I always end up with like one slot that I just never find the loot for. In my last practice seed, it was chest pieces. Like, no one had any chest pieces because I just couldn't find them.
I've ended up with a lot of uncapped or unheadpieced people. Either that or at least a half a dozen Murasames from just everything. My most favorite one, because this is a max tier 6 treasure flag. We can talk about that later if you go to the treasury, but I walked in the treasury, I walked out with 4 Murasames, and I already had 2 from the seed previous. I'm like, okay, so we're duct taping these to Edge now. We'll figure something out for this.
Edge, throw yourself. Can you do that? Yeah, no, in my most recent practice seed, I pulled 3 rare ends out of my treasury. Max tier 6 does some weird things to the treasury.
Only one item that you get all of them from.
Yeah. While Couch is finishing out this Dark Elf and Dr. Cossack is playing with his dolls, I will just touch on what that flag we're talking about is. New to 4.2 and active in this tournament is T Max tier 6. Means that everything but your trap treasure chest and like your quest rewards is going to be capped at tier 6. So even with T Wildish, where you could normally pull like T7 stuff out of the Watery Pass, you can no longer get that. You're not going to be pulling any crystal swords, Avengers, white shirts, Dragoon spears, Bahamut orbs, anything like that from a normal treasure chest. Makes loot a little bit less sacky, in my opinion. You're not going to just gain a huge advantage by pulling the right treasure chest. But that also affects the treasury, which means that it's not quite as hype as we would normally expect from a T Wildish treasury.
But on the bright side, Couch with Pinky Cane did just bring home the bacon, and he is finding a darkness crystal.
Okay, it's not a magma key, but that is good. That's access to Zeromus. That's a free character. That is a gated character, so it could be an Edge or a Fu. If you watched How I Did It 3 Miss Zone, you'll remember that Fu was on vacation. In this tournament, Fu is back. Each race, though, 2 characters will get their own breaks. We don't want to tire anybody out too much because we do have the C Distinct 10 flag on. But that's great. Had he not already done so much looting, I personally like peeking Cave Bahamut, see if it's a free boss, and also grab those chests while I'm there because it can be pretty nice. But definitely going up there, getting the character, maybe checking the shop for sirens, Bacchus wines, hourglasses, what have you.
I've noticed a couple of my practices, just the sirens like doing the cheeky hideout in the moon. It's like, okay, I get it. I'll check you each time, I swear.
drcossack finding that scoop of vanilla in the mist cave.
That was a brain freeze inducing quick fight there with that scoop of vanilla too.
Yeah, and Cossack goes, all right, cool, I don't need any loot, but I'm going to go and turn this in right away. Chat was rooting for a package, which I think Dr. Cossack is realizing here, and saving just in case it is the package so that he doesn't get locked into the cutscene by virtue of the Enterprise being on the wrong side of Mist. Heads up, but it is just going to be a gold apple.
I always forget that. Yeah, that. Oh. That'd be funny.
Now, it would have been funny if it was the package and it led to Evil Wall, so that would have been hilarious.
Like, well, all right, cool seat. Yeah, so it looks like Couch is definitely heading to the moon. Another interesting thing with the Darkness Crystal, we do have access to the Giant, but what's a little tricky this time around is I know a lot of us saw a lot of D Machine grinds, a lot of Mac Giant grinds. Now, 4.2 has added a fun little flag of Vanilla Giant. So what that means is if you enter the Giant, you better make a save outside of that Giant because you are not allowed to exit until you beat both bosses in the Giant. And if there are some rude bosses in the Giant, you're kind of stuck.
Yeah. Always make sure you save outside, but also it adds a few minutes to any potential D Machine grind. So at least during the Swiss rounds, while Sirens are very easily accessible, the D Machine grind is not going to be as prevalent as it once was. That's my prediction. 13 minutes and 45 seconds into the race. And something just occurred to me. If not for... Hey, look, more vanilla. Hi, Foo. If not for the Hummingway shop, I could make the joke that Couch had escaped to the only place not corrupted by capitalism.
Fair.
Okay, I've just been informed in my ear that the Hummingway shop is a co-op, so
Good.
So space has not been corrupted by capitalism in the free enterprise universe. So that's 3 scoops of vanilla so far. Definitely keeping my taste buds nice and happy.
I'm partially expecting to see if Couch makes a cheeky Bahamut cave check to see the Bahamut sprite there.
Sorry, someone corrected me. Said 4. I'm trying to remember what the other one was.
So yeah, we are getting we're gonna see if there's any value in cave value today.
Yeah, and it does have 4 high tier chests. You can pull some pretty good stuff out here. I've pulled 2 Murasames out of here after finding an edge on the moon, which was like it felt so good.
No, these trapped.
These are not trapped. No, these are just free to get. They're a bit out of the way. It looks like Couch has no intentions of looting them. Maybe if it's a free fight, he loots them on the way back out. That is a mom bomb.
That's a boss in a location.
Yep. That's a bad spot for Mom Bomb. Mom Bomb only punches aside from the explosion, and the Bahamut is tied for the highest physical attack spot in the game, along with the CPU spot and the Leviathan spot. Very punchy. If you have a Moon Veil, it's basically free. But yeah, if Couch ends up with a way of basically cheesing that fight, we could maybe see him dive cave value before going down into the lunar subterranean, but chances are likely we're not going to be seeing that anytime soon unless it ends up being hard required.
We'll be seeing some magnificent leg though on Dr. Cossack's side with some fun little Rubicon fight. This one should be pretty quick. It's that being said, there's always potentiality for a very rude second boss that we are about to see.
Yeah. Couch finding some life potions and Thor Rages in the Mysidia shop. It's a Lunar Sparkle.
There it is.
Elgo Pogo's not too bad here. You don't want to summon on him, Dr. Cossack.
Ogopogo wanted to try the newest drink, Sog Champ Soda.
Sog Champ Soda. Ogo Poggers.
It's like, yep, that's getting brought back.
For those that missed the Gambit-thon race that I was a part of, that is a callback to that. Yeah, Stealth here. Stealth normally is a very bad idea against Ogopogo, but it didn't go badly here.
How much HP is this spot particularly?
A little bit less than 4K. also very slow. So if Kane maybe had a crystal ring on, you would be outspeeding Ogo multiple turns to 1.
Ooh, how about an Ashura on the first bridge fight over here on Couch's side?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too worried with that mopped to kind of take care of things. So,
yeah, gonna use the Starveil strat here. Probably doesn't feel like it necessarily has the damage to kill it quickly. We find a Luca key from Baron Inn.
I admire hug attack. I saw the key icon. I'm like, oh, come on now.
We are quickly running out of spaces. I think at this point, this Ordeals play is going to be our underground access, or at least lead to it, either through something like a Baron Key, a Twin Harp, or an Earth Crystal.
Or the ever fun chain of, I normally say Twin Harp, or Earth Crystal, Twin Harp, but since that's required, that can wait for a little bit. But in the meantime, Cossack has finished his outing with the Baron, and we're going to see where he is going to head next.
Looks like he is going to escape space.
And he is going to be very happy to see a certain old chap sitting in his normal spot.
Yeah, just waiting.
I wish that Fu had like a Hawaiian shirt. It's like, hey, I just finished my vacation. I'm back.
No, the Hawaiian shirt's at the cleaners. He got a little bit of shawarma on it.
Yeah. It's like the umbrella from the drink is stuck somewhere in his beard.
Yeah, it's Fu, you've got a little. I'll just get it.
But you know what? Don't worry about it. Just you be you. We're good to see you. It's good.
Yeah, glad you're back, old man. Couch made it through the Asura fight. Goes back and saves because that was long. And we see Officer Soldier. This is not too bad.
You can go about this one of two ways. You can take out the 3 soldiers, and the officer pretty much just says heck and nopes right out. Or if you want to be funny and amused, you can take out the officer, and the soldiers are like, heck, and then they start hitting each other.
Or you can just turn them all into frogs.
That too.
I like just turning the officer into frogs, because then you can still have the soldiers beat up on each other once they once the officer's gone. But yeah, the soldiers don't take orders from frogs, sir.
My frog army in chat right there.
Very, very good.
Yeah, it's the one thing the Free Enterprises taught me is the Toad spell is surprisingly useful.
Toad. Size is also pretty good. That was a nice 3. See, this is why frogging the soldiers can be not a great idea, because they just start hitting each other for single-digit damage. But it's entertaining.
It is.
Someone called Big the cat. We found Froggy.
Oh jeez. Froggy.
Froggy.
Meanwhile, Cossack's like, hey, I know this mop. Instead of old man yells at cloud, it's old mop sits on moon.
Kella's like, who are you? And Fu's like, I'm you, but better.
Right? It's like people use me as more than just holding the floor down.
Scala said I'm too good at my Big the Cat impression.
Nice. I think the only impression I can do poorly is a Charmander, and that's about it. So yeah, though that frog was really good.
Charmander, char.
Charmander, charm. I like how in all the Gen 1s you could just say the name and then half the name and you've nailed the
Yeah, exactly.
And meanwhile, our lunar there it is. There it is. We've got to look her out, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, the apple from Meridia's mom is not going to keep the doctor away today.
Oh, Dr. Dialogue. Well, this is kind of a spot that you could probably, you can take him out before he gets to say anything. It's like, oh. Well, not his whole dialogue.
The hook is going to be useful for a couple things because we may not necessarily have a hook route. It could be a magna key behind that rat tail.
That's true. I like a couple people sometimes tend to do. You gotta check your freebies, check your objectives, and things like checking Rudy's mom after finding a really early demist, or just checking Sheila too if you've used the pan, or things like you have the rat tail. That is a surprisingly easily missed spot. Yeah, this fight shouldn't be too terrible. It's a very low HP spot. In fact, it's divvied up 3 ways. Yeah, couches through it. We'll see if he goes hook route right away or just says, let me see if I can get a key attached to this rat tail. You know, I'm almost surprised that we, for some reason, because we don't have a Cecil in our party, we haven't found like a light sword somewhere. Just cheekily sitting around going, hey, you want a Cecil? I got something for him. Pikachu. So the Pikachu needy, I had to say something.
Sorry, someone had asked me to do a Miltank impression. I don't think we ever got the Miltank episode in America, so all I know is the Japanese inflection of the voice. Just Miru.
Love it. So for me, I'll admit I'm one of like maybe 2 people on the planet whose favorite Pokemon is Magmar, and at least the Magmar versus Charizard, it's like Magmar. It's like, okay, calm down. I see that emote in chat, and I am. I see that Magmar. Sorry, I got distracted by.
It's a pie emote. It's good emote.
I love it. Well, the rat tail did give a really good protect ring, and that's about it.
Okay, well, hook route it is.
I'm never opposed to a hook route when I don't have to run it.
Yeah, nice way to start the tournament for sure. Also, fun fact: my Final Fantasy 14 Chocobo's name is Miru, after the way that Miltank says its name in Japanese.
Love it.
I may have a favorite Pokemon, y'all, and it may be Miltank. And I may be the only one in the world whose favorite Pokemon is Miltank.
My favorite Pokemon is named Boober. It's a platypus going through an emo phase.
Alright, well, Couch is like, alright, I got a hook, but maybe there's a magnet key here? Narrator, there's not.
And then the Fallout narrator. Couch disliked that. But yeah, this Ogre Pokemon fight will go probably a little bit faster because there is a mop to clean up all noodles. So, and Galahad agrees.
Yep. Hi, Galahad.
So, I know we've already found Calbrina, and we want to make sure Evil Wall is buried kind of deep in the sea, but at the same time, an Evil Wall on the hook route, granted we have the food, but an Evil Wall on the hook route is just funny when you don't have to run it. And we don't have to run it.
Yeah, especially at that King Queen spot.
Evil Wall cannot so please.
I was thinking Evil Wall Odin.
Ooh, I approve. I am always a fan of some rude.
Dr. Cossack is going to go poke Anna until she disappears, and then we'll launch the hook. Not launch the hook, launch the hovercraft So glad I didn't finish that sentence.
I'm just thinking of the movie Hook's like, Hook, give us the hook.
Rufio.
Rufio. Sorry. Star Rails.
Oh yeah, there's a scene going on. Some Cure 2s, no proper white mage yet. Food does not really have the MP pool to really do that, especially if you want him to be attacking. So some Cure 2s are good. Oh, you know what we could see on the hook route? We could see DKC in the evil wall. That would be interesting.
Any spot where DKC gets to punch and punch hard, sure.
All right, we're going in.
So while we wait to hopefully hear some fun, cheeky news, quick shout out, of course, to our wonderful Restream team behind the scenes. Zoe and I get to just have fun and make Pokemon noises and make random quotes here and there, but we have Scala Kitty, everyone's favorite night mom, doing Restream duties, the wonderful Gambit 017, tracking all of this fun hook route heckness, so definitely give them some love, give some love to our runners, and hey, by the way, as you can tell, this tournament is just starting. If you want to get involved on the Restream team, do you want to see what it's like behind the curtain? We're always looking for more people. And we're pretty cool. Some of us only bite when they have to do midnight streams on the first day, and any other day that ends up. But still, aside from that, we're all pretty cool, and we'd love to have you. Yes, according to Jay, see how the sausage is made. You get the special mead. But it does look like that we are seeing, they're essentially, Couch and drcossack are kind of swapping stories, sitting by the table. But yeah. This is entirely their way of getting some levels. I mean, the thing is with the hook route, it is, well, like as we've been talking, get some pretty rude bosses. So having these extra levels with the life glitches, get a little bit more XP going in them, that will definitely help their relatively squishy teams to get through some kind of rough spots.
Especially if we end up finding that lovely evil wall down in the King Queen spot.
And that King definitely does not mind that Dragoon Shield. I'm seeing some strength rings. I think I just saw a Soma drop on Couch's side, so...
Yep, that was a Soma drop from that, so give that to that food. Bump him up to 200 MP.
But Kane needs MP.
I would find a second Soma drop we can give Kane MP. Right now, food just needs it more.
Well, I mean, those Sork... So we really are doing a Cursed Affinity Gauntlet. There is a Cursed Ring available because the other 3 or 20 weren't good enough. Same thing with the second Odin summon, because sure. But meanwhile, we are very close to finding out who is in the Rubicante spot. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a turtle. That is a required turtle.
Not only is it a required turtle, that's a second food. Second food is going to be a wonderful addition to this team.
I'll admit, having that second foo and the Rydia, as much as it pains me to say that makes that turtle actually not as intimidating. One thing that actually, shout out to PK4787, showed me recently, you only really need to have one damage dealer going with a rude turtle if you have a lot of people that can cast Lit 1. With the turtle, you're trying to prevent it, or Kanatsu, from using its wave attack and just decimating your team. So with all these mages on the team, it makes it less, it's not like 100% scary, it's like 98.9% scary.
And interesting on Dr. Cossack's side, got rid of the Yang for his second food. I would have thought got rid of the Tella there, but maybe thinking, seeing that turtle, I want to want Tella's spell set. I want to use Tella as my lit 1 battery for that Kanazo fight.
I mean, there is that. There is, again, the plethora of curse rings, and maybe they just wanted to really, really drop down that agility as low as humanly possible. But yeah, I'm surprised. But well, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
Yeah, especially since we did find, I don't know if Dr. Cossack found that Thunderclaw. I believe Couch did. That would have been a very helpful thing through that Kanazo fight in the front slot with Yang in the party. But
ooh, it looks like we have a double fiend. We have Mylon and friends in the King Queen spot. So not the worst thing to see here. That's going to be pretty straightforward, especially with that big mom on Couch's side. Gets rid of those gas right away. But yeah, that's. I'll accept Mylon and friends for a turtle.
yeah, Mylon and friends here probably the better the Mylon to see. Z's gonna have his talking, but then punch hard. Mylon, yeah, he just decides to cast Lit 1 at you, and that's not scary here.
And I know Mylon does punch. How often does that punch come around, or is that mostly a counter script to something?
That punch comes every third Lit 1, natural Lit 1 cast. Lit 1 comes out for every counter, but then he also has Lit 1, and punch.
Gotcha. And just like that, Couch is very easily and casually through that Mylon and friends fight. So, Couch, just save. You see that turtle? Don't. Thank you. Because even though you do have a lot of lit casters, that's still a turtle.
Yeah, food learning Berserk from that Mylon and friends fight too. That's going to be very helpful. Get that Kane zerked up immediately for this upcoming fight.
Yeah, that is very perfect timing for that Berserk on Couch's end. Also, I just noticed how we have the polar foos with the blue and the red, and I'm immediately thinking of Cave Magnus and wondering if the two foos, if you put them right next to each other, will that counteract the magnetic effect? Because that's kind of weird things I think about at 11:50 in the evening. Don't mind me. But yeah, so we are. See, Dr. Cossack is immediately through the Mylon and friends fight. Hopefully, he heads over and saves. And meanwhile, we have our first crack at Kanazo with Couch. So, very likely, Zerk Kane. There it is right there with the Bacchus. And honestly, what you really want to do, because Kanazo is so fast, is just get those lits of any kind, Lit 1, Lit Bolt, Zeus Rage, whatever. Get those cast as quickly as possible, just so you can stop the water from gathering so far to the point where you have a wave.
Did Dr. Cossack go straight in without saving?
Yeah, he did.
That is a bold strategy, and I am all here for it. Love this. Probably feels a little bit behind. Said, you know what? I'm just going for this Kanazo. Let's go.
And honestly, if it was some other boss other than Mylon and friends, I don't think Cossack would have made the similar play. That is that's a scary thing. And unfortunately for both of our runners, they're finding out firsthand why you want to get rid of that water. Couch just took the first reset to Kanazo. Dr. Cossack is really hurting right now, and especially not saving in between those two fights. I could see him really trying this fight back up to some semblance of, well, not having to reset. Yeah, the big thing here is, if you just have one person going with Berserk and just you've got your magic users, it's a slower strategy but a decent strategy nonetheless, is to just again get lit casts going and even constantly have them going, so Kanazo can never have the water long enough to queue up the wave, because the wave does damage based on Kanazo's current health. So the more health Knatso has, the bigger of a heck that wave is going to do to your team.
Yeah, the best bet is just, again, get that Zerk off, chip down that HP, and then get that wave manageable, and then just go all out. But until then, you've got to get those lints off. You've got to get that wave down. Otherwise, Kanaza's just going to wash you away.
And what's interesting is, and we've been talking about let's. What's the big deal and why are runners casting ice? If you don't know, Kanatsu has a shifting weakness. When the water is up, Kanatsu does not like lightning. But when the water is gone, Kanatsu doesn't like being a frozen turtle. Unfortunately, Couch takes a very quick second reset. Dr. Cossack, he's literally got a blue mop and hope and a prayer. Now he's got his magnet mops. So this is a very dangerous situation for Dr. Cossack.
I mean, on the bright side for him, Foos do know Cure 4, so if he can get a Cure 4 off before the next wave, should be okay. So his waves are doing about 600 per.
Okay, that's a good sign for sure.
Yeah, so I think Cossack's probably going to be able to get through this. It just might take some time. Whereas Couch is taking the reset, trying to set this up, get it to go perfectly. It's still really a neck and neck, though, in my opinion, at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with just the full team up still on Couch's side and Dr. Cossack only having the double foos. And plus, yeah, that most recent wave on Dr. Cossack's side did about 500 and change to each of those foos. So it's Dr. Cossack has a little bit of wiggle room over there, but that's still this is a very dangerous fight, and it's a good one to practice on. The nice thing about the 4.2.0 version is there's now meta configurations where you can actually force in your seeds these particular fights just for the sake of practicing instead of constantly having to roll on a hope and a prayer. If you want to practice a Kanatsu at Ruby, you can, which is a pretty awesome thing that's board and crew added. And to answer chat, Conquerors, yeah, this is the Rubicante spot. King and Queen was Mylon and Friends, so a much easier fight comparatively. Ooh, and there's the swag media on Dr. Cossack's side. All right, and that is a great sign because hiding in the shell is the last phase of Kanatsu. Now, the turtle will try to heal itself. There was that queued up wave from previous, but it does, well, pocket change damage. Now it's just a damage race. As long as you can out damage whatever that remedy will do, you're fine. So, unless something really weird happens on Dr. Cossack's side, I think he'll be getting through pretty soon.
And those remedies are still coming off pretty high. I was at 2,300 remedy, and his food are almost out of MP.
Ooh, that is a good point. Oh, and yep, that's exactly what happens when you let it go. Unfortunately, Kanatsu has healed up just enough where he can come outside of the shell and immediately go back in.
Well, the good news is with him at this low, he can reset, he can life up everybody. Kanaza's only going to remedy while he's in the shell. Once he comes back out, he's not going to remedy, and that wave is still only going to be doing about 100 per wave at this low HP. So you can probably reset, get everybody back up, heal everybody up, and then just let Kane and ready yourself, Kane, Zerk, and just go to town.
And sure enough, Dr. Cossack has used a Bacchus wine, and on Couch's side, Couch is also in the hiding inside the shell mode. So it's very interesting how these two fights have kind of been completely different. With Couch taking the 2 resets, Dr. Cossack not taking a reset, but not wanting to reset because he didn't save in between the 2 fights, and yet here they both are at effectively the same time.
Two very different strategies, same goal, and going to get it done about the same time, which was absolutely brilliant.
And that stuff was actually a really smart play, especially because you get that little bit of extra healing. And essentially, Riddy is better protected from a potential coming out of the shell. But thankfully, Dr. Cossack does not have to worry about that anymore, because he is dying. Actually, they are both dining on turtle soup right now. So GG's to both of them. 42 minutes and 20 seconds in. This is a foot race. This is a straight up foot race.
Yeah, Dr. Cossack came into this fight probably about 30 seconds behind Couch and is going to leave it about 10 seconds in front.
And it's interesting that not saving was a very, very bold play, and kudos to Dr. Cossack for, on one hand, for just being able to power through that when everything was looking really bad, and kudos to Couch for taking the resets but still finding the methodology that worked to both get them through at roughly the same time.
And both runners showing us that's going to be Baron guards there on the top of the tower. Interesting to see if either runner decides to go straight up there. With Fu, with the power of Toad and or size, that's pretty much a free fight immediately if you want to go take it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they made that play. They do have their obligatory freebie at Feymarch, and it looks like Dr. Cossack is... Dr. Cossack just wants to heal first and foremost.
I do not blame Dr. Cossack at all. Couch going straight to set up Sheila 1, heading down into the Silk Cave.
Yeah, that's not a bad strategy. I know I've noticed Sheila's been having some good goods throughout this tournament, so you might as well get it set up. Some people would try to hold off on setting this up until they got the pan. That way you don't have to double dip Silk Cave, but at the same time, if you don't find the pan, well, you know what? Then you've kind of wasted your time there. But meanwhile, Dr. Cossack will be the first one heading into Feymarch, and we'll get to see what the Feymarch freebie is and which dynamic duo will be the king and queen, or will be playing the king and queen of the Town of Monsters.
Drain Sphere pickup for Dr. Cossack's side. That would be nice if we want to use Kane as an agility anchor later, but with the 4 curse rings we found this seed, probably not something we're going to do.
Unless you, for some reason, want to just agility anchor everybody, because why not? Dr. Cossack's doing a very interesting strategy right now. He's checking all the chests, and he's cast float on his team. That way the team doesn't take any damage from stepping on any of those tiles, because there is one chest in here that's going to have, I believe, the 5 warriors in it. It's going to be that chest right there. It's going to have some decent loot, and with that comp right there, that's going to be a pretty easy thing to take care of, especially with Stone. I think Toad, maybe Quake, Virus to a lesser extent, but it's going to be a nice influx of HP, or EXP.
Yeah, Foos unfortunately don't have Quake yet, but that Stone spell should make quick work of it. The Warriors being very helpful in knocking Tella down for him, so yay, thank you.
Skull and chat bringing up a good point. If everyone's anchored, does that mean no one is anchored? Potato. But speaking of potatoes, we have a required pink tail in the free Feymarch chest.
Ooh, and that was a white spear Dr. Cossack picked up from that warrior's chest. That's going to be huge for Kane.
That is you gave me a Gungnir spear earlier. That's cute. I've got a better one now. I do see a fire sale going on Couch's side. I feel like I missed something important in the shops. Oh, those Hourglass 2s are a nice find. Not quite sirens, but they definitely could help if the sirens are found.
The Soul Rages are nice too. Would have been great for that Kanaja fight that we've already
right?
done.
Where it's like whenever you deal with Magus Sisters in a really rude spot, and the very next chest you find is like a mute knife or a rune axe. It's like, thanks, game. I appreciate you.
My favorite is if Gaia, the Magus Sisters give you a Gaia drum.
Nice. But yeah, we so the king of the Town of Monsters is a king. That isn't Odin. The Assure spot is the Dark Imps, which honestly, I'm not too worried about those dark. I'm not too worried about either of those for two vastly different reasons.
Yeah, the Dark Imps, you got hourglasses right there in Feymarch, just begging you to say, hey, come buy one of me and let's take this fight on. Odin's gonna hit hard, but should be doable in this spot.
With two foos on the team, it is absolutely a damage race, but I think they'd be able to handle it.
Fu should have enough HP to withstand a Zuzukin at this location, and can just kind of reset and get everybody back up, start pushing out some damage, heal, and then rinse and repeat.
It's an interesting looking shop there. It looks like a lunar staff was purchased at Dr. Cossack's end. I don't know if he went into the item shop, and or if he did, he purchased any hourglasses. That would definitely factor in his choices in terms of fighting in the Feymarch. It actually looks like he might be leaving right now.
Looks like he's going to loot on his way out. Might not be ready, saying, hey, I don't think I can take on whatever's down here. I'm not even going to worry about it. Just head on out.
Yeah, if Dark Imps have value, that is going to be rough for Dr. Cossack, especially with the pigtail right there as well. So that's, oof.
Well, that might be what Dr. Cossack's thinking, is going, I just got the pigtail. Let's go ahead and get out. Let's worry about completing the objectives first. There's coffins in Tomra. Those will help if he picks up a couple.
Yeah, and those would definitely help. Sure enough, Dr. Cossack did just buy 10 coffins, so if he didn't see the hourglasses, he's suddenly not as worried because those coffins also have an effect. Thankfully, in some respects, it's not a key item, but that defense sword on a cane? Sure.
Well, Dr. Cossack got the white spear. Or no. Yeah, Dr. Cossack got the white spear from the warrior chest. Couch gets the defense sword from the DMs.
Yeah, that's this is definitely the Kane go burst seed.
I'm just waiting for the inevitable betrayal.
No, what the true betrayal is Dr. Cossack went to Tomra and left without checking the job dwarf. That's a hard pill to swallow there.
And there are no sirens in this seed.
That just made things really interesting.
Yeah, Dwarf Castle was the last shop not checked, and there are no sirens there, so there are no sirens in this seed at all. Couch has range manager, it looked like.
So we do have seed validation, so that's a good thing. So we've had some good vanilla, but how about some French vanilla?
French vanilla is always tasty.
With a bouncing, non-playable Golbez. And I know the actual Golbez spot isn't that terrifying from a magic perspective, but what about the Kelbrenna spot? Is this a place that you're okay seeing Golbez or not?
I think it's going to hit a little hard, but not too bad.
Or is this kind of one of those cheeky, I have 2 foos, I'm good. Okay, yeah, chat's even mentioning with, it's okay if you need to start Veil off. Couch, meanwhile, has decided to activate the Luca key. Now, I'm curious if he's going to be doing some door grinds. Since he doesn't know that there's no sirens in this seed yet, but those door grinds, which looks like he doesn't have activated right now, could be a nice influx of XP if he's looking for something. But it's also a cheeky check of a boss and a potential key item that, in all reality, a lot of runners tend to fade because this is a long route and it very rarely has the value you're looking for.
Yeah, with no warp glitch on, Luca, you've got to make this dive if you want this item, and it's such a long one that a lot of people don't want to make it until last resort. But Couch might be feeling, after taking a couple wipes to Kanazo, saying, hey, I want to take a gamble. I've got the Zuka key. Let's go. Let's see what we can do.
And it definitely makes sense, especially because this is a spot that you either commit to the bit or you last location it because it's just so annoying. Kind of like doing the package check with Vanilla Giant on, doing a giant check. So it's one of those, okay, fine. But Couch is about to tell us if we have value in Luca, the sealed cave today. And we do! The cheeky check has paid off. That is a required twin harp. So that way we walked out.
In the meantime, Dr. Cossack got through that gold bed. It's antlion in the back spot. That is not scary at all.
But how about that Cecil? Dr. Cossack doesn't want it. And, you know, Cecil was so upset that Dr. Cossack said no, he immediately bounced over into Couch's screen, reverted back to Dark Knight, and is trying to defend our runners from getting the twin harp today.
Unfortunately, Pain Man is not very painful in this particular spot, so Couch just sitting through it, takes care of business through just fine.
So yeah, it's still kind of annoying, but yeah, Couch definitely got the goods. I know that he's already set up the Sheila 1 check, so I honestly wouldn't be surprised if once he leaves Sealed Cave that he's just going to go check his objective, check the freebies, see what he gets. Meanwhile, on Dr. Cossack's side, we're going to find out if Dwarf Castle was any value, and you know, you missed one defense sword, so here's another one.
I mean, I missed the first defense sword, so.
The first defense sword was actually the Dark Imps in the Ashura spot, and Feymarch had hourglasses for sale.
Well, that's free. I'm back. Sorry about that, everybody. The seed was just too powerful and too exciting, and it took out the power to my entire apartment building. But it's back, so we're here.
Yeah, and I will say the exchange for the free Dark Imps at Ashura, there is an Odin at Leviathan. Oh, also the free key item was the pink tail, and Couch just did a cheeky Luca Cave check and got a twin harp.
Love it. Love to see it. I was trying to watch on my phone. I did see the Kanatsu at the in the hook route, so that was exciting. I'm sad that I missed it, but I'm going to do my best to get caught back up on what needs to be done here. So that twin harp, we're going to be getting music. That will be, 3 of the 4 objectives. So at that point, we're just looking for Evil Wall or both pieces of the Forge.
And I'm not sure if you were able to see that, but it is official. There are no sirens in this seed.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So then we're either on the lookout for potentially an edge, depending on how many characters we've found so far, or we may be seeing that division grind that we thought wasn't going to happen. But who knows? Maybe Evil Wall's on the giant.
Which an Evil Wall elements would just be Chef's Kiss, but
Evil Wall at CPU spot would hit very hard. It would die quickly, but it would hit very hard as well.
That's true. Just Evil Wall on giant, sure. And yeah, we see Couch immediately finishing up his work underground and very likely starting to check the freebies. Again, set up Sheila 1. Will be making a quick stop in the water to swap out the ships and then turning in that pigtail. And double checking that, yes, Couch, you do have 3 objectives available. 1 already completed.
All right. Go ahead.
I was just getting Dr. Cossack's going to be getting the very good. Okay, now here's why I'm laughing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw Dr. Cossack in Dwarf Castle.
I did not.
Ask the question about what characters in Dwarf Castle.
Was it a Cecil?
It very much was.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was the second Fusoya the hook character?
The second Fusoya was the hook character. We have polar Fusoyas with a red and a blue one.
Very nice. Going from hot to cold. Couch, looting the Chocobutt, making Scala proud.
Oh, I feel so bad for Dr. Cossack, but thinking about it, we didn't get the Dwarf Castle, yes, had the defense sword, but prior to that, I don't think Dr. Cossack had any weaponry that made Cecil viable. So with the knowledge of the seed at hand, I get it. But I feel really bad for Dr. Cossack right now, because the moment he turns in that pink tail, and if that's the only Cecil in this seed, oh no.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We've come across 2 Foos so far. Each seed, because we have distinct 10 and there are 13 character slots, should have 3 duplicates. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. See, how many characters do we know from our distinct 10? We have Fu, Rydia, Kane, Tella, and Yang. That is 5. Cecil, 6.
Yep.
Is that all we know so far?
I think so. There is a little bit of wiggle room. I don't know if anybody looked at the Sand Ruby location.
Before my power cut, I don't remember anybody going to Typho, so.
Okay.
Dr. Cossack diving down here to do Sheila 1, talk to Yang in the bed. You're anything like me, you're going to try and use a life potion, which you'd think would work, but no. And then go talk to his wife, see what she's got. Maybe a vanilla pan tonight, a little bit more vanilla.
I would totally be down for that. Oh, it turns out Soma drops don't work either, unfortunately.
Give Yang MP.
Meanwhile, on Couch's side, we're pretty close to getting our first Twin Harp check of the marathon, or the tournament. And like I said, we've got new harp songs, we've got new Z sprites, so fingers crossed we get a new good one, and if not, let's hope to get an oldie but goodie.
I mean, but what is a tournament but just a marathon for certain definitions of the web marathon? But now, we'll be quiet.
So we definitely had an oldie but goodie with some Final Fantasy 1.
Yep. Great arrangement.
Meanwhile, as Couch shows us what the Twin Harp has, and it is everyone's favorite package check. Dr. Cossack did get the bad news that Cecil he threw away. Now he has a crystal sword to go with him. But Sheila had a very interesting key item in the form of the tower key.
Well, no keyless tower for Dr. Cossack tonight. Now that package could lead to another Cecil.
That could also be a very, very cheeky evil wall as well.
Very, very true. Not sure if you got a chance to mention it, but as opposed to the way it was in Highway to the 3 Miss Zone, the vanilla agility flag is not on, so Cecil is basically back at full power. Slap a crystal sword on him, anchor someone else, and he goes burr.
That would be if he wasn't taking a minor siesta. The problem, the annoyance, which is probably why Dr. Cossack is not happy right now. C-By is on, so once you've said go away to that specific character, you can't get that one back. So Dr. Cossack has to hope that there is a second Cecil somewhere in this seed. Otherwise, that crystal sword is just going to be burning a very annoying hole in his back pocket.
Yeah, characters do not go to the Tower of Wishes. They go to Cafe Howdy, and not retrieve them. They're going to enjoy a nice ale, assuming that person has taken their feet off the table by now.
And on the flip side, since Couch has the crystal sword first, he's going to get the very good news that he's going to have a Cecil waiting for him. Is there any situation right now where you would not take that Cecil?
Absolutely not. I have crystal sword in hand. I take that Cecil. Even if I was like planning on going like full reflect strats, I take the Cecil, and I change my strat.
Makes sense.
You've got a Zeus gauntlet that you found earlier. You got that black belt. You can make that Cecil go burr, very 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 burr. Like it's like you're in Greenland and it's very cold, and all you can do is go burr. Oscar, save me! I'm drowning.
No, it's okay. Greenland's always frozen, just like Iceland
cool.
is always green.
So I can't drown because it's frozen. Got it. Okay. Whew. I'm safe.
There was enough ice casts in the Kanatsu fight earlier that everything is frozen now. The lava is actually just food dyed colored lava ice.
I mean, it's chunky salsa, scholars as in our ear. Oh my gosh.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
But as we all know, with the advent of push B to jump, that the lava in Free Enterprise is not cold whatsoever, or not hot whatsoever. Cold is the opposite of what I meant.
It is insert temperature here.
Newsflash: words have meanings.
I just love those automated ones. It's like it's like, hi, thank you for your interest in Lali-Ho League. If you are interested in joining, please enter this website. It's like, thank you, clearly automated bot.
Like it's trying its best. Like I know a thing or two about creating bots, and you can only do so much, but they try their best. That is not what Siren sounds like. No, Siren is closer to the uncanny valley. She definitely sounds a bit more human. But she does say like a lot.
It's like I've played way too much Detroit Become Human that my immediate thought is Siren is Kara, which I am 100% on board with.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
All right, so the moment of truth, Couch. Who is taking a bench? Good day, sir.
This is goodbye to the Yang. In this situation, I probably would have said goodbye to Rydia and made one of my foos my anchor and gone for Yang, Pain, Cecil, Berserk strats. But we'll see how I do in this tournament before we can make a determination on whether or not that's a good idea.
I like how Cecil didn't even get a chance to go burr, but Cecil does have the crystal sword on now, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Dr. Cossack is putting that tower key to good use and getting those 2 checks over and done with. As Couch is getting the good news of now you have not 1 defense sword, but you have 2 defense sword. I'm curious as to where Couch is going next, because I mean, look in the grand scheme of things, we're just looking for Evil Wall. We're looking for both pieces of the Forge, but there's not too many checks left outside the moon.
Yeah, Sheila won for Couch because he has not yet to do it, which leaving a freebie there for this long is kind of scary.
And what was really interesting right now is Dr. Cossack saw the tower check, saw Valvalis, and said, you know what? I'm going to go to the moon.
So, interesting point about that. Valvalis at the top of tower is nukeable.
Ah.
So that's actually a fairly free fight when you have two Fu's with nuke.
Oh no, that was the super cannon room. My apologies.
Oh, super cannon room.
Yeah,
Okay.
the top of tower are the Baron guards.
Okay, I was absolutely not paying attention.
Too much Bacchus. No, let me rephrase. There's never enough Bacchus wine.
Yeah. Never enough. A round of Bacchus wines on the house. I have that authority. Can't tell me I don't.
Couch's Foo heard that and it's like, I need to sleep. I definitely get what Cossack's doing here. It's yes, those are two relatively free key item checks, but considering you're also still looking for a boss, I can kind of see the face checking of the lunar bosses if possible, because maybe you can double dip.
I think another thing at play here is there's no siren. And as we mentioned, the D Machine grind isn't super viable time-wise, so killing moon bosses can double up as your grind while you're trying to find either both pieces of the forge or that evil wall.
100% agreed there, and
Both racers going top down.
yeah, that's interesting. I'm intrigued.
I can definitely understand it.
Well, have some French vanilla.
Just a few floors away from their home.
I'm curious if they're going to take the try to burn it down approach, or they're going to do the war of attrition approach with this fight. Oh, there goes Starvale.
This is going to be interesting.
Why do you say that?
If you hit a D-Lunar with a summon, it casts Remedy on itself.
Oh, yeah, okay, that does explain the remedy I saw. Interesting.
Yeah.
River's making the awesome choice of Boston Giant. Unfortunately, we've already found Calbrenna. They were in Antlion, yeah. So we still have the potential for Evil Wall and Giant, though, which is going to be funny. But we have our D-Frogs going.
Space Frogs! Woo!
We'll definitely get those frog emotes going in chat for our wonderful pastry return of the frog army.
You know, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking back to the joke I made earlier about the space being uncorrupted by capitalism, and because I have a captive Scala kitty, I am going to throw out a suggestion for a future Z sprite, which is just Tim Curry from Command and Conquer.
Oh god. Let me tell you something here. as we see the required legend sword on Couch's side, when Red Alert 3 was speedrun at GDQ, and we got to watch the cutscenes, mwah, it was fantastic.
It's so good,
and
good.
there are far too many fantastic people that are in that.
Yeah, but my favorite thing about the very famous Tim Curry clip where he's talking about space is that had to have been the best take, because he was apparently just constantly like busting out into laughter, and that was the best one they got, and so they just used it.
I know. I don't know how any of them kept a straight face that entire time.
Space.
I lost it the first time I saw the Jonathan Price and then George Takei. I was like, how are you all here? What good stuff did they give you?
I feel like they just paid them all for one take of everything. That's all they could afford.
Like I don't care about the Command and Conquer series or the Red Alert series, but this game in particular, I will watch a cutscene supercut on YouTube any time of day.
Dr. Cossack continuing the top down, going to go ahead and check the Wyvern altar. Couch will see if he's going to continue as well or go straight down and maybe try and double up on the ribbon room. Nope. Going for the Wyvern altar. This is pretty close. If both racers continue following kind of the same path, assuming this path leads to their go mode, they're going to hit it about the same time. If they happen to hit that evil wall, they will be getting their crystal in hand. Will not have to leave the moon if they can figure out how to get levels.
Yeah, I picture the two runners like tied at the wrists, like they do in some wrestling like special matches where they have to follow each other. So it's going to be interesting. But what, in addition, is just we're going to see what difference it's going to make between, well, having a Crystal Sword Cecil that's currently taking a nap on the floor and not having a Crystal Sword Cecil to go bearer. So this could be interesting. Meanwhile, there's a very, very speedy Sushi right there, and that ulti was Optimum.
Yeah, very, very speedy. Resists holy damage, so the Crystal Sword on Couch's side is not going to be doing as much as it normally would. A kingdom for a dark elemental weapon that doesn't belong to Dark Knight Cecil.
What's interesting is he has, at the very least, one, if not two, defense swords. So I could see switching to that might help a bit.
Yeah, it still did over 3k, so
Yeah.
It's probably a moot point, but it would have done more if it weren't Octomammoth. So I just want that point to be driven home. I'm not wrong. It's just a moot point.
Bad timing for a boss with a holy resistance.
So there we go, 1467. Okay, so the 3k was clearly a crit.
To my dying breath, I will that face. I do love that with Octoman. Every single time a tentacle goes away, Octoman gets a little bit slower, which makes this fight inherently easier to manage.
Just hit it a bunch. Make it hide its tentacles. You're not actually cutting them off. They're just being retracted into this weird liquid stone. I guess it's concrete that just hasn't set yet, like moon concrete.
Sounds about right. And
Womp.
so most likely everyone's going to be heading to the dealer.
Yep.
And it's all double check. Double chest check. Words are hard.
What's very kind of annoying, more so for Dr. Cossack than Couch here, is that neither runner has 10 key items. Dr. Cossack has 9. And that's I only mentioned that because the Ribbon Room is a huge chunk of experience. I would actually be tempted to maybe do the White Spear Altar here first, to maybe get your 10th key item to get more experience from that Ribbon Room.
I definitely like that. So we have our bets in chat of where that Adamant's hiding. Wall and Zot. I'm fine with both of them.
And I'm gonna call the Earth Crystal behind that Mom Bomb. Oh, hey, look, it's King Queen Evelyn. Freebie.
We have a long way to go to going down to the Hades.
All right, Cossack deciding, let's just do Ribbon Room.
No.
Hey, you could grind this. You could...
Yeah.
Quick, Dr. Cossack, pull up the grind calculator. and enable Mag Assistor grind. This is like the best spot to do it.
Look at the spell damage. This seems like a not very strong magic spot. Or is that just them casting poorly?
This spot isn't like super dangerous.
That's not so bad. It looks like the King Queen have decided that, okay, now it's time to do freebies, and they are just going to be joining. They wanted to head to the lounge, so they're going to get some chill and relax.
And Couch has avoided being dragged down to the Hades. Got a pass, so it's not a 10th key item, but you can freely clear out the rest of the moon and not have to worry about coming back now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Couch is very excited to see that.
Yeah, and if the adamant is in Ribbon Room, this could be very interesting because Couch and Cossack would both get go mode. Cossack may fade that White Spear altar, so Couch would be able to go straight to Zeromus after forging, whereas Cossack would come back and have to re-walk through the lunar subterranean.
But meanwhile, Couch is actually, checking the Ogopogo spot to see what's going to be in that punchy little spot. Now, do we have an Evil Wall, or is Evil Wall in a very funny giant?
Well, this is actually favors Couch even more having that Cecil, because you can get the quick kill on Karate after the second kick. If you hit him with a Paladin Cecil, part of his vanilla script is he'll say "ouch," and then he'll just go away.
So it does definitely limit our choices for that Evil Wall. It is a potential on the giant. There still is Tower of Zot available, so it could be there.
Baron Throne and the Odin Throne.
That's true.
Those two spots, the two Zot spots and the two giant spots, I think, are our only things. And there's the Baron Key.
Yeah, so we'll probably be seeing that check in the very near future.
Unless the adamant is exactly here.
No, but a sog champ, and a spoon to sop up those noodles. Which, unfortunately, the spoon right now with that party means nothing other than that 10th key item. So, yay!
Yeah, so that is good. From here on out, Dr. Cossack will be getting double experience if I'm counting my key items correctly. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yes, I can count. So that is good.
That is true. Pancras brought up a very interesting point. We've completely blocked out the Mom Bomb at Cave Bahamut.
Very true. I was going to mention a bit earlier. That spot is now a bit more reasonable. Still very punchy. Still very annoying. But manageable. I could definitely see one or both these runners doing it if they're just going to clear out the entire moon. Doing that before going back down for the Baron Key. Something that potentially works against Couch here is having not done that Sheila 1 to get the tower key. Doesn't have the knowledge that it's not in the super cannon room. So if he's on a hunt for the Evil Wall, he could end up wasting some time doing that. So that could swing things back in Dr. Cossack's favor a little bit.
Yeah, at this point, it's definitely a where are people gonna go? But anytime I see a double swag medium, makes me happy. Oh, that's a good point from Couch. Cecil was swooned. I definitely I see where Couch is going with that. That was actually a pretty heads up smart play on his end.
And while we are watching things that the other Razor has done, I do want to give a quick shout out once again to our friends behind the scenes, Scala Kitty on Restream Gambit, covering the tracking and also covering for me while my power was out. Thank you very much, friend. I greatly appreciate that. And shout outs to both of our runners, Couch23, Dr. Cossack, both amazing runners of this game. Tons of fun to watch. You definitely could not necessarily use your follow, not necessarily deserve your follow, but your life will be better if you follow these two people.
100% agreed. And you know, if you're watching these scenes and you're like, hey, this flag set seems kind of cool, head on over to our Discord. We're always welcoming new people, and you know, there's always tons and tons of pickup races of every kind where everyone's racing at the same time. Anyone can race for like an asynchronous race where, as long as you complete the race within a given couple days, you're good. People are always looking to have fun and practice and teach, especially teach. So check it out. It's a cool group of people. They haven't kicked us out yet, so that's a good sign.
A great sign. Couch getting some bad luck on the Maga Sisters here. Cecil keeps getting just hit by the board AI, and they just keep basically focus firing him.
Now, did Dr. Cossack turn on encounters just now?
It appears to be that way. Has 10 key items, no sirens. Siren grind is awkward. Might just be fishing for a couple of encounters here just to kind of shore up the levels on his Kane and his Rydia. If Rydia can stay alive, that is.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a rough one there. It's, you know, in this situation, you're still looking for an evil wall somewhere. Do you take a save outside the giant and just do a very cheeky elements check to see if the evil wall is there, and if it's there, do a little bit of a grind?
At this point in the race, if you feel behind, I think that's what I would do. Just drop a save outside, make sure you drop a save outside, head up, peek the elements fight, see if it is your evil wall. If it is, great, go ahead and do your grind, get your crystal, and go for it. If it's not, then it just depends on who it is. If I want to maybe see if evil wall is at CPU, because the element spot and the CPU spot are also worth a nice chunk of experience. So even just the bosses by themselves can serve as your grind.
That makes sense. And it looks like Couch is done with the moon. He's going to be heading to, well, probably Baron. That's where I think is what's left right now.
Yeah, doesn't want to do that Mom Bomb. Has the Baron key, still has Sheila 1. At this point, I thinking that he forgot about it. Let's hope that ends up not being too critical, I guess.
And yeah, at this point, the Baron check shouldn't be too bad. The buy-in spot is Water Hag, so that's a quick 1-2-3 punch. I don't see... We know where Val is.
Have we seen Wyvern?
We have not seen Wyvern. That's probably the only one that I'd be a little worried about.
Yeah, this is good. This is 2 boss checks because we already have knowledge of 1, 2 key items. This is probably your densest location yet, and one of those key items and one of those bosses is effectively free because you can just nuke your way through it. And the other one, depending on who's there, will be dispatched with relative ease when you're rocking a couple of foos and a crystal sword, Cecil.
100% agreed there. Meanwhile, Dr. Cossack's getting the good news that whenever he wants to leave, he doesn't potentially have to come back. So we'll see where he goes after this. Looks like he is grinding a little bit for levels. That's a pretty good pull right there with the gold and silver dragon.
That is the rare encounter on this floor. Going to be the best experience you can get here on this particular floor. You can get a better fight on some different floors. You get double king reuse instead of a king and a ging, but still nothing to throw a spoon at, I guess, instead of shake a stick. Rare encounter on this floor is Stricker. Thank you, Morpheus.
We're following the T Wildish. This is the E Wildish. I don't know. I got nothing. It's 12:42.
I'll give you an A for effort.
It's passing somewhere.
I would hope an A would be passing.
Yeah, me too. We'll see. Yeah, Couch is very quickly through that water hag, so we'll probably just go straight on in to see who's usurping the Baron throne tonight. This morning. That is oh my god.
Well, there we go. Baron key from the Masamune spot leads to our evil wall on the Baron throne. This will be go mode for Couch. Has a pass in hand. Just probably wants. I would maybe want a few more levels. A 2,000 hit point Cecil is not necessarily where I'd want to be. It is doable though. It'll be a bit spicy.
The true rudeness is if this leads to adamant.
Oh yeah, if this leads to adamant then. Oh boy.
I'm also actually curious as to what the character is right here.
I'm gonna laugh if it's a Cecil.
Cecil or Edward, really? Or a Hitch? Something?
Ah.
Hey, we found a white mage. An hour and a half in. Goodbye, white mage.
Yeah, I don't know if you or Gambit got a chance to mention this, but we do not have the slingshot mechanic enabled for this flag set. The flag for that is what is it? EXP no boost.
Yes.
Basically, in typical for Enterprise, when a character is 5 or more levels below the median, not the mean, median character level in your party, they will gain double experience. You've disabled that, so you will not be slingshotting characters to the stratosphere from a D-Machine grinder. It is one of the reasons why Rydia is very weak in this flag set unless you get her incredibly early, just because she takes so much experience to get to something like Duke. But it's also a bit too late to maybe take your Rosa and try and get her online for your party. If you're still planning to do a grind, maybe you can get her to at least Cure 4, but it could be dicey.
So we have Couch in go mode and not swag whaling, so we'll see where Couch is specifically going right now.
Checking his inventory. Jumping in the Enterprise.
Going underground.
What are you up to?
Door grind.
Oh, door grind.
Door grinds.
Something that we didn't really see in Threema's Zone. A door grind is great. The door will cast, search on one of your party members, and you can use a Star Veil or the Wall spell to reflect its disrupt and instantly kill it. So that is, it's a good chunk of experience. I think it's about as much as an egg, if not a bit more, from a Siren grind. So a good way to get yourself the levels that you want. There's only a limited number of them, but I think we're only going to see a handful of these taken by Couch here.
Yeah, and plus that power overwhelming nuke. Couch like, yeah, I don't even feel like doing wall. Just
I
die.
mean, yeah,
At
that
this
works
point.
too. That nuke works too, Couch. Way to completely invalidate your commentator. I'll take it up with them. I'll take it up with them later. It's fine.
Now, didn't I've heard somewhere the stick over its right eye, is that a spear?
I thought it was like its eyebrows. It sounded like a unibrow.
A very single directionally angry unibrow.
I mean, it's not angry. It's like it's making that the eyebrow thing where you raise one eyebrow because you're confused. It's like, wait, you're not supposed to see me. Trapdoors are off. What's going on? Well, I've ruined it for at least one person in chat. They'd never noticed the eyebrow.
It's okay, just remember, chat. The whale is symmetrical. You can exit from both the left and the right. I will let people know. This is life-changing information that I did not know until like 2 weeks ago. But still, it's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know about it until well into my free enterprise quote unquote career.
I think last time I was on comms and Blaze used the right door, my mind was blown. I had no idea.
Yeah, I think last time I was on comms, something similar happened. Were we on comms for the same race, Asuka?
I'm not sure.
It is so hard to keep track. And it's going to only get harder to keep track because I'm going to segue and talk about how many races we're going to have. This Swiss round is going to be 53 races. We have 107 entrants, so that's 1 bye and 53 matchups. Obviously, we're not going to restream every race because we care about our restream team members and we want them to come back. But we will endeavor to restream as many races as we can, probably a couple races a day. So there's going to be a lot of free enterprise action over the next few months. So you'll be hearing, my voice, Asuka's voice, the other lovely commentators in free enterprise. You'll be hearing us a lot.
Yeah, and plus in addition to loving the Restream team, a lot of the people on the Restream team you'll be seeing in these races. So you won't be seeing me because funny, but you will be seeing a lot of Zoe.
You've got sense. You've got sense, Asuka. That's why we're not going to see you. Yeah, I've entered this tournament. I will be racing. We'll see if I get put on Restream. If not, there's ways around it.
Gambit's also racing this time around, so yep. Y'all are double dutying.
Speaking just of changes, as Couch is getting ready to go use the pass to go to Zeromus. If you're not in the Discord, I highly encourage you. Endeavor's a Pokemon move, Zoe, to join the Discord. New for this tournament is we actually have a channel called Lali-Ho Matches, which will have the links to all of the races in that day. If they are restreamed, it will link you to the channel. If they are on not being restreamed, it'll link you to the CADGAR for both the racers. And it's very easy to keep track of the races as compared to something like Three Zone, where it's a bit trickier. But
however,
yeah, what's going on in chat? Are y'all okay?
We're tired.
It is late.
I know it's the easy meme, but it is late. So yeah, basically there's a lot of Z sprites because we can't change where Z is. We can change how Z looks. Also, Cheeky Odin, that Wyvern is cheeky. There's a lot more now with this 4.2 update. But before we can actually see that, there is a specific question that has to be asked. And Zoe, I will let you do the honors.
Are we there yet?
Yes. Wait. Yes.
Okay. Whose butt are we gonna kick? This morning? It's morning for most of y'all. It's still night here on the West Coast, but it is morning. This was a midnight match. So let's see who the first butt of the Lali-Ho League is.
Today's butt is played by...
Did Cossack not save after?
Cossack, I don't think saved.
Luckily it was like post grind.
What?
What?
Oh,
is this you,
Yevon.
Yeah,
that is you, Yevon. I was like, that is an odd spooner.
Yeah, it took me a second, and then I like saw the U, and I was like, oh, it's you, Yevon. Final Fantasy X, everybody. Gonna make you all feel old. Final Fantasy X is 20 years old.
Oh, that's almost average.
Final Fantasy IV is 30 years old.
Yeah, I'm still old in it.
Final Fantasy IV is about as old as I am.
So not only is it late, y'all, we're tired, y'all, we're old, y'all. Slippery42 in chat mentions that we started taking arrows in the knees 10 years ago.
Oh, God.
Dude, no thank you for that one.
Rex, I don't think that's how time works. Rex for roll in chat. Another one of our fantastic restreamers, one of the restream leads, saying, I'm still older than Final Fantasy 1, hoping that'll change soon.
He's trying to channel his inner Chrono Trigger.
Just jump on the Epoch, you'll be fine.
Just be careful looking at buckets. There's some weird things going on in those buckets. Yeah, so Dr. Cossack is, this is not, no, do not adjust your television sets. This is not the Twilight Zone. This is just a bad reset that's happening. Dr. Cossack did check the Odin spot, I believe, before he checked the Baron Throne. So that Wyvern definitely been back on the moon. So hopefully, Dr. Cossack instead decides to go to the usurped throne where fake Odin sits. Because then he'll get the good news. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Meanwhile, Couch is executing some pretty good hybrid strats here. Has triggered the reset, I believe. So we should be seeing some rocks fairly soon.
Pancreas in chat confirmed the baby. And thankfully, Dr. Cossack did check the other throne room and sees the evil wall. But meanwhile, we have our first, enemy rocks falling on our team. So with that, Yuyemimis is not long for this world, or Space Void. And there it is. There is the first clash, bang, boom, pop. The first Z has been defeated of the LHL, and our winner tonight, or this morning, is Couch 23 with an official final time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, 15 seconds. Let's keep seeing those GGs in chat, and we'll see if we can get Couch over here to chat with us.
GG's to Couch. Fantastic race. Great seed to start us off early. A nasty hook route. Some nice vanilla, and good company. Only my power has paid off. But Cossack has Crystal in hand, is going to be leaving Baron Castle, getting that ninja hat out of the pot. We are gearing up to get Couch in here for an interview to talk about this first seed of the Lali-Ho League. I think there's a Couch.
Hello.
Hi, Couch. Are you comfy?
Ish, yeah.
So would you say you're a comfy Couch?
One would say that, yeah.
Awesome. Well, GG's.
Thank you.
Taking the first victory here in the Lali-Ho League. What are your thoughts on what you just had to do?
Everything just kind of like fell into place, I feel. Like just one thing after the other was like, okay, and then okay.
Well, see, obligatory. So, your thoughts of Kanatsu at Rubicante?
I didn't feel too bad having two foos at 1400 HP. I was mostly just trying to keep Kane alive for that first wave, and then I knew I'd be good. But yeah, I didn't feel too bad about that one. The couple resets were a little frustrating, but
it was actually really interesting that you'll see in the VOD later on. You and Dr. Cossack, how did you feel behind, ahead, or like where did you feel in comparison to your opponent after the Kanatsu fight?
My real strategy is I always feel like I'm behind. I'm always like, okay, well, I'm sure my opponent's ahead of me somewhere, somehow, some way, so I may as well just try and play.
Okay, Dr. Banner.
As it turns out, you were maybe 5 seconds behind him.
Oh wow.
Even with the 2 resets, Dr. Cossack had he didn't save in between Mylon and Friends and Kanatsu, so he had to power through it. But you two finished. It was pretty much dead even going underground. So that's
awesome.
It was really fun to watch the 2 of you kind of. Oh, hi, Cheddar. The true master of the controller has arrived.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, it was really interesting to watch how up until Underground, you both of you followed a very similar path, and then actually when you hit the moon, things started diverging, and they diverged in your favor. So that was fun to watch.
I unfortunately did not get a chance to watch it because the skill coming from both you and Dr. Cossack was too much, and it shut off my power. So,
oh no.
Obviously, I made it back, but yeah, I missed most of that. But from what I was able to catch after I resumed shortly after the Kanatsu fight, if our tracker is to be believed, you faded a check that is very unconventional to fade. Did you forget about Sheila 1?
I absolutely did. Now that you mention it, I was like, oh, okay. Duh.
It was the tower key. Valvalis was in the super cannon room. Clearly, we're seeing now on the screen that the adamant was from the pan. Don't know where the pan was from. So it would have been funny if that had led there. Dr. Cossack actually did show us that, but did not bother to actually kill the Valvalis and walk it out. So it was just a thing where when you're coming back down from the moon, I was like, oh, maybe Couch is going to go and do Sheila 1, because you two were still pretty much in lockstep for most of the moon. And I was like, oh, maybe that'll cost some time. That could be the difference, but ultimately it ended up not mattering.
Yeah, I have a really bad memory when it comes to that stuff, and it's been known to bite me in the butt before.
Oh, trust me, in 3 Masone groups, I lost a race to another great runner, Aegis, because there is a required pass at Sheila 1 that we both faded, and by the time I found it, I just felt so behind. I went for Eddie strats, tried 4 times, ended up losing the race, and was like, heck it. And I've never forgotten to do Sheila 1 ever since then.
And also, we just found out the pan location was actually that Odin at Leviathan.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Exactly.
That was a way to victory that I think you rightly avoided.
Yeah, there's a reason the Outlion meme goes around. I may or may not have been the one to fade, and it being a very important item.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this was a good one.
So, what are your thoughts about this particular flag set? We've got some new flags that are again new to 4.2. So it's how are things working for you so far on it?
I'm kind of middle of the road with them, to be honest. I think they're really fun. I like that all the chests are available now. I really like the quarter sale price. That is just fantastic. The tier 6 stuff kind of throws me off a little bit sometimes. I'm just oh, I'm not used to that. Boss hunts can be frustrating sometimes, but I'm kind of middle of the road on it.
Okay, makes sense. But yeah, so we're otherwise, unless you've got any other thoughts, either Zoe or Couch.
I just wanted to say congrats again. Our first racer at 1-0. And so next week you'll be facing off against another 1-0 racer. I don't know if you had a chance to look over the other races on the docket for the week, but what's one race that you definitely are not going to miss, and you would suggest that the viewers don't miss?
Dia Pancras.
there is one right answer, and that is the right answer. Potential finals preview in round 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, GG's. It was an absolute treat to see you two race, and we look forward to seeing more. My sleep schedule would like to see them earlier, but it's always fun getting that first midnight race in. So we enjoyed it. So thanks and congrats.
Well, thank you for commentating. Thank you for tracking. Thank you for the restream. Thank you, Free Enterprise community, for just being awesome. Y'all are great. Much love.
Thank you, Couch.
Meanwhile, on Dr. Cossack's side, we are seeing a little bit more grinding on his end. Looks like with those HP totals, we're getting a little bit closer to the actual fight. The big if factor there is that Rydia, she's got low HP, and, well, she needs levels.
Yep, I'd wondering about the coming back to grind, but definitely if you're wanting to be able to use your Rydia in the Zeromus fight, you're going to want a few more levels. As luck would have it, we didn't run across a second Cecil to make use of that crystal sword, so we're likely to see a bit more of a reflect heavy strategy from Dr. Cossack. Two Foos don't quite have the MP you want to do it by themselves, so anything that Rydia can do, and maybe a bit of Kane help at the start.
And as a reminder, while Dr. Cossack is getting a few more levels under his belt, I guess officially today, I guess we'll call it today, March 9th, we have 5 more races overall going on. You can watch either on the RPG Limit Break channels or Randomania channels for Enterprise, or you can watch both on your own via the CAD link that are readily available at 10 a.m. and all these times are Eastern. 10 a.m. we have Gambit 017, our lovely tracker, against Symeta, and if I apologize if and when I butcher every single person's name. I'm tired, and I'm also bad with names. 8 p.m. we have Dia versus X Pancras on RPG Limit Break's channel. At 9 p.m. over on Randomania, we'll make sure we get the correct Randomania channel for you to head to. That is Tella Says Relax versus Neon Gray. Over on Free Enterprise channel at 11 o'clock Eastern, we have Sabira Messia versus Leggy Starscream. I know Zoe will totally be missing that match.
Yep.
And then, of course, over on the Cadgar link, you'll be able to watch Poorly Drawn Bees versus Ground Flyer, also at 11 p.m. So there is a wide variety of matches that are going to be available to watch. And definitely, if you can't see them all, check out the VODs when they are put on YouTube. The highlights or the highlights will be available on Twitch. So there's plenty of opportunities to see any races that you might miss.
Absolutely. I was gonna say something. Oh, Skylar was pointing out in chat, if you have not yet seen them, and maybe watching this on the VOD, the credits have been updated. Yeah, hi. The credits have been updated with a lot of cool people. A lot of the workshop helpers are now there, as well as some other cool stuff. So lots of people help out with the randomizer in the community, and it is very nice to see them recognized.
Let's see where Dr. Cossack is leading us now.
Might be because he's on the moon, just going to go down and do Zeromus rather than exiting out and using the pass that he still has, question mark? I was looking at his inventory to see if it was there.
Yeah, same. I think it was in the very top left spot. Oh, chat pointing out that we did get a moon veil, which is always a nice thing to have. That Soma drop just sitting in that inventory wounds me, and wounds Kane for that matter. The betrayer gets betrayed, and that's okay. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll be taking the swag walk down to Z.
Yep. That moon veil could actually come into play here. There's a lot of people are familiar with Unihorn strats, where you use a Unihorn to stop your Berserker shy of the 45,000 mark, so that you can then finish it off with some reflected nukes. If you don't have a Unihorn, though, just use a Star Veil on yourself, and then use a Moon Veil, and that will make Zeromus immune to your physical attacks, and you can do the same thing.
Our tracker Gambit has pointed out a very interesting factoid. When the wipe happened to Wyvern, Dr. Cossack actually lost the pass.
Yep.
It is not in the inventory anymore.
that was definitely then a very rude wyvern there. Kind of hard to blame him. You know, you're rocking a couple of foods with nukes, some good levels. There's not much in the way that can stop you, even at the Odin spot. And then you run into a rude wyvern.
Yeah, that would do it. But yeah, I think at this point, I think he's going to be pretty comfy, pretty cozy, and this should be, with this team, a relatively straightforward Z fight. So for the second time of the night, we get to see our wonderful one of many Z sprites, and this is again going to be you, Yevonus, from Final Fantasy X, the Angie Spooter. And Skull Kitty pointing out in chat that this sprite was actually made for RPG Limit Break in 2019. So, cool little bit of factoid right there. But yeah, for the most part, this will be just a straight, well, I don't want to say a straight, but again, a very full-on reflex strategy thing. I don't know how much Kane will be doing, especially if Dr. Cossack doesn't want to get that top off. But yeah, he's with reflex strats, as long as for some really weird reason words are hard, the reflect on, I believe, Rydia, as long as that stays safe and sound, this should be pretty good. Yeah, everything is hard at early o'clock in the morning.
Using Tella to cure 4 up the food that ate the nuke, Tella has now done his one job and will to sleep for the rest of this fight.
GG's, Tella. You have done the thing. I think at this point, Kane's pretty much just going to be, fighting. Okay, never mind. I was going to say maybe Kane's just going to sit there and look pretty, but all right.
Might as well.
That's a very nice nerf Big Bang on his end. Yeah, unless something goes absolutely catastrophically wrong, I'd see this being a pretty chill fight as well.
Yeah, this is not even remotely close to the most stressful Z fight I've ever seen or performed.
Yeah, and Kane's going into full-on parry mode. Yeah, at this point we are just reflecting back and forth.
Yep. I do worry about that that one swing that came throughout, and whether or not that was before or after 45,000 hit points.
That's true.
Because if it was before, then we're fine, and this fight should be over here relatively soon. If it was after, then that triggered the refill, and that's an extra 45,000 hit points you have to go.
Yeah, and I think there were a couple, at least one nuke and white were able to get through before Kane hit. I'm not sure. I don't remember what exactly else.
Judging by this Bacchus wine, I think Dr. Cossack knows that he triggered the refill. Yep. And so he's just gonna fight through it. this can be very dangerous, especially when you're using 2 foos in reflex strats, because MP economy is very hard.
Yeah, you can already see that the blue foo is really hurting for MP right now. So it's pretty close to the point where now we're just doing damage with Kane.
Yeah, and if Kane eats a big bang into Meteo, that could be very bad. So
That shake's scary.
this looks safe. This fight has actually already slightly gotten out of hand. So chat, send Dr. Cossack your energy.
Free and blesses if you got him. Ooh, this could be dangerous if this counter hits Kane.
And it hit the food that's completely tapped on MP. I don't think that Dr. Cossack cares about that too much.
No.
You know what would be nice to have right now?
No. Did that Big Bang get nerfed in time?
If the counter nuke came out beforehand, it should have absolutely gotten nerfed in time.
Okay, good.
It would be really nice right now if Dr. Cossack had an elixir.
Yeah, it would. Bringing this full circle. It really would.
All the way back to the Alt Gauntlet.
I'll let you ask that question.
I will own it. I promise I'm not being mean-spirited. It would be nice to have, but using it at the time that it was used was definitely a strategic move. Uh-oh.
The physical, visible reminders when you made a wrong choice. Oh no.
Wait, hold on. Okay. For saying that I thought the HP run out was on Zeromas.
I'd be okay with that. Well,
You got this, Kane.
please no betray.
If Zeromas is right next to the Meteo tipping point, he should have this. The Meteo will not kill him, and he should get enough swings in beforehand. And there's the rocks. I think he's got this. And the rocks missed even.
Yeah, this is good. I say this dangerously carefully.
Oh, and another,
nice.
Another dodge. Kane dodging the swag rocks. And there we go. A crash, bang, boom. And we have our finisher. Dr. Cossack has finished in second place here with a time of 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 57 seconds, bringing the first race in the Lali-Ho League to a close. GG's to Dr. Cossack. We'll see if we can get him in here for an interview real quick.
I think we've all been there when you have a fight that feels like it's on lockdown, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, maybe not.
Hey, Dr. Cossack,
Hello.
GG.
Thanks.
Are you feeling okay? You've had 15 minutes to calm down from what seemed to be a very stressful Zeromas fight.
I have some other deposits on that salt.
So I mentioned it during your fight, and I'm going to own up to it and say it to your face. Do you know what would have been very helpful on that Zeromas fight, I think?
Not to being the refill.
Not that, but the elixir that you used in the Alt Gauntlet on Hobbs.
Yeah, I wanted to use some sylph there, so.
No, like I was saying, it was a viable strategy. It was a strategic move to use it there, but I was just thinking like, man, it'd be really nice to have an elixir right now.
Never run when you need them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of not being around when you need them, how did it feel to see that crystal sword shortly after saying goodbye to Cecil?
Words were said that I cannot repeat on restream.
Oh, understandable.
The same with that wyvern.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a considerable
Yeah, I
setback.
thought the counter nuke would do more damage. It didn't.
Yep. It is definitely less damage there, but you pulled through. You persevered. So GG's on the finish.
Thanks.
And thank you for bringing us this midnight match here on the first day of the tournament.
You're welcome.
Do you have any thoughts on the tournament format, the flags, anything of that you wanna share while you've got the floor?
Pretty fun. Sirens were the only problem I had with the seed. A lack of sirens, rather.
Yeah.
I do want to
Really
say,
kept dying.
you know, I definitely want to
Sorry
say
about
absolute kudos to go from Mylon and friends into the Kanatsu fight without saving. Like that is mad respect right there. And you pulled it off. Like I was impressed with that level of skill.
Yeah, I figured with 2-4 I was fine. I mistimed some of the lightnings, but and the ice 3s.
Yeah. But overall, it was a very well run seed. There were multiple times where you and Couch were effectively in lockstep, literally doing the same checks at the exact
I'll go
same
watch this
time.
back tomorrow.
Yeah, it's very, very entertaining to watch. You'll notice that I leave for a bit. My power went out because you two are just too good for my power grid to handle.
Yeah, my OBS disconnected for about a second. I don't know how that affected the stream.
We got you back. That's what mattered.
Yeah, minor hiccup, no big deal there.
Okay. If you need the recording, just let me know.
We will absolutely let you know if we need it. But yeah, I think I am just about done. Oh, I was going to say, I'm sorry that there were no sirens in the seed. Sirens helping to organize the tournament, so she was taking the night off.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
GG's again, Dr. Cossack. It was a treat to watch. But yeah, that's it. We've officially gotten the first round or the first match, the Lali-Ho League in the books. That was a really fun one to watch.
Fun one to watch, fun one to commentate. I am getting more nervous about running this flag set in a competitive environment each and every minute I watch. But this will not be the last. There's going to be plenty more for you to watch. Oscar went over them tomorrow. As I mentioned earlier, you can also see those in the Discord, Lali-Ho matches. One final shout out to our team behind the scenes, Scala Kitty on the restream, Gambit on the tracking, and one more shout out for our runners, Dr. Cossack and Couch, for putting on a great show for you here tonight. I think it is about time that we go on a bit of a raid, and we're going to raid Emily's Poorly Drawn Bees, a member of the community. She is just starting up a practice siege because she is going to be racing, I believe, tomorrow versus Ground Flyer.
And as always, since we are coming from a race, no spoils. You spoil, you get the bonk. And I've gotten very good at getting Z kills with Porum.
Yeah, you get the bonk, and then you get grumpy looks from the rest of us.
In the Pastu's case, you can have the bonk, but you don't get buttons.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful night, everyone, and we will be back tomorrow with more Lali-Ho League action. And by tomorrow, I mean later today, but tomorrow for me because I'm on the West Coast. Good night.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night.